Alright, what I want is to have some visual stuff here. I don't have a wide enough angle to get the tabletop and my face in the same shot without being like weird. So I've got my quad box here, and we're just gonna try. Does this look weird if I just set things on top of it? And so we're still gonna have to go a little lower. I don't even know if that was worth it. Okay, so guys, what I want to talk about today is goggles and goggle modules, why I use Rapidfire, and kind of walk through my whole history of what all I've used and my personal experience and preference. So if you're looking for something a little more technically oriented with tech specs and things like that, might not be the best video for you. This is gonna be focused on my personal experience and opinion on all this stuff. So if you're a fan of my piloting and you wanna know what I think, you're in the right place. Anyways, so where I came from in terms of my FPV goggles was always using a goggle system with the receivers built in. So this is the SkyZone Sky 02, some version. Either way, this version, it's a great goggle. I have a video about it on my main channel. I loved this goggle. The receivers are built into it, really high performing diversity receivers. And what I like most about it is it's got an integrated interface. So within the goggles, you hit all the buttons and you can access different sets of menus that enable you to change brightness, contrast, saturation, everything. You can completely control the image. Really easy to navigate DVR menu. It's easy to see when you're recording. It's easy to navigate through your recorded DVR footage and play it back. You can see what channel you're on in the goggles. When you change the channel, it shows the band, channel, and frequency. So from within the goggles, it's easy to change channel. It's got a band scanner, all built in. It's awesome. Then I got sent Fat Sharks. These are the HDOs, and when I put them on my face, I was like really into the image of the screens. The image on these, it's a small field of view 16:9 image, and I could fly just fine with it. When I got these 4:3 with a larger field of view, I was instantly spoiled. And I'd always actually been turned off by larger field of views, specifically because of the HD2s. I do not like how those look. To me, it's too big. I can't see the whole image at the same time, and also the edges get kind of blurred and distorted. I don't like them. HDOs, perfect image size, just amazing resolution. The image looked so good, but I was concerned about having to deal with goggle modules, and it's totally been as much of a pain in the ass as I thought it would be. I hate dealing with goggle modules. So yeah, I liked the built-in thing. But anyways, started getting to the goggle module game, and what I started with was the Furious receiver. The Rapidfire wasn't out at the time. So I started with the Furious receiver because the only two options were the Furious and the LaForge, and I was really turned off of the LaForge because it's to get diversity, it's a two-part system, and you either have a wire going along the outside or you have to crack it open. And if you've been following my main channel, you've seen, as I got to later on, I had all variants of that. But I started with the Furious, so like you just popped it in. I will say the fitment on this is amazing. It pops in really snugly. You're not gonna knock it out. I mean, it's almost too much. Like, I have a bent pin from trying to pull it out, but I'd prefer that to it being knocked out very easily, as we'll talk about with the LaForge. So the fitment is really good. The interface on the version that I had, it wasn't great, it wasn't bad. I'm big on interface. Well, you know what? Good or bad for what all this is. All these interfaces are just horrible. And I say that because we have these amazing cell phones that spoil us with just phenomenal, easy to use and intuitive interfaces. So when we get to like FPV gear, it's just the worst. All these push buttons and holding to get into menus, I just hate it. But yeah, for relatively speaking, the interface on the Furious was okay, and now I know they've come out with new versions of the firmware that have further improved the interface and maybe further improved the reception performance. So here's what I'd say about reception though. When I was flying by myself, it was great. Oh, I could fly for so far. They're very sensitive. Where this module struggled was rejecting other signals. If I was flying with anybody else, I had big video problems, and I never had that kind of problem with my SkyZone goggles. These, in fact, as I'll mention, these are some of the best at rejecting other signals. Like, I could fly with many other people complaining about a bad video. I always did just fine with these. So yeah, when I went to this, it was such a pain to struggle so much with flying with other people. It got to a point where it was just not usable for what I do, where I frequently have to fly with others. Well, I mean, I want to fly. I want to say have to. I enjoy flying with other people. You know what I mean. LaForge was kind enough to send me their modules. They were convinced that I was going to really like it, and I did like the LaForge system a lot. I didn't like that I either had to have a wire running along the outside or that I had to open up the goggles. I ended up, first trying it out with the wire on the outside and then later on opening it up. But the performance is really good. I would say equally receptive. I could fly just as far as with the Furious, and much better signal rejection. I could fly with people a lot more easily. The thing I liked about LaForge the most, this is the LaForge V4, I liked most about this, and what honestly made it worth it in my mind to deal with cracking the goggle open and running the wire and all that crap, sorry, my battery's done, was that, shut up, don't do it again, was that you could see everything on the outside screen in the goggles. Whenever you engage the interface, it mirrored the interface inside the goggles. So I never had to take my goggles off to change my channels, and that's drove me crazy about this one because I've been spoiled. I always had these SkyZones that I could do everything without having to do that annoying dance. So the LaForge giving me that back was amazing. The reception was great. The user interface was very intuitive. I liked it. As far as fitment goes, what's odd is that the diversity expansion piece fit really snugly and like never fell out. The main module, I mean, it doesn't really clip at all. It just kind of presses in there. It's very easy to knock out. It looks nice. The buttons, like, you can't even feel if you're hitting them. I just hate this plastic cover. I just don't like it. But I like the system overall and was really impressed with the RF performance as well as the interface. So I had some of the Rotor Riot crew come out to Detroit to film some episodes, and Tommy brought me a gift. He brought me a Rapidfire from Immersion. He's got the hookup, so thanks, Tommy. And I was like, oh yeah, I'll try it at some point. But I wasn't, running out to put it in right away. Until we were all flying together. And Bachgrinder has one. So here's what was happening. I was flying. Well, I wasn't flying. I was watching Bachgrinder fly, and I was standing right next to him. And Corey, Cricket FPV, was powered on and right in front of us. And Bachgrinder flies out into the woods. And I'm watching, and all of a sudden my video just goes like black in lines. Awful. And I'm like, oh man, did you crash? And he's like, what are you talking about? I was like, Corey's blowing out our video. He says, no, I'm fine. I'm flying with perfect video. Blew my mind. I went home that night, put in the Rapidfire, and gotta tell you, Rapidfire is so good. It's so good. I don't want to believe it's so good. I didn't want to believe it because, to an extent, so Rapidfire does all this image processing, whereas these other modules, they pretty much just give you the raw signal, just receives it and just blast it to your eyes. Rapidfire does all this processing. I'm like, dude, it's so overcomplicated. But it's worth it. It's worth it. It's worth the expense. The image repairing it does is awesome. The signal rejection from other pilots is the best ever. I would say, if I had to rank them as far as ability to fly with other people, my personal experience with this one, it was the worst by a large margin. I know other people have had much better luck. I think I might have like a slightly defective module or something like that. The LaForge was significantly better. The SkyZones either equal to or maybe slightly better to the LaForge. And then when it comes to the Rapidfire, everything is just over there. It's so much better. That was so needlessly aggressive, but it really is better. So my one complaint about the Rapidfire is the lack of on-screen display, because the interface is really good. You don't have like weird push buttons. You have to remember what does what. The joystick on the outside is really nice. Oh, and speaking of tactile, like the front cover clip holds everything in nice and securely. So ergonomically, it's very good. It feels very like built in. I'm not a huge fan of the red, but they've got white covers coming soon. I mean, it's kind of grown on me. It's kind of like a signature look of it. So yeah, but I do hate when I have to change channels. I don't know, like do this dance. If everyone was just on a race band, it wouldn't be a problem because I could just cycle through the channels with the arrow keys, no problem. But I'm frequently flying with random groups of people depending on what country or state I'm in, or if we're having a quad camp. And as much as I would like to just force everyone to be on race band, they're just not. I mean, I was at an event recently where the assigned channels were all over the place. It was like 2 channels were on Boss Cam A, 1 was on Fat Shark, 1 was on Race Band. So there was a lot of channel dancing I had to do, and maybe I could have set up some favorites. Dude, I wish I could just see the band and channel and frequency in the goggles. That's really my only complaint about the Rapidfire. Beyond that, the performance is really good. As far as the other modules, which now I have to hunt down because I was being all overly theatric. They're both really good. I would say I really do like the LaForge a lot. And if you want, is it cheaper than Rapidfire? I don't know if it's cheaper. I forget what costs what, but this is definitely a good option. The interface is nice, and if for some reason you don't want a Rapidfire, LaForge is good, but I recommend the Rapidfire. It just has the clearest picture. So, clear picture, good fit, nice interface. What more do you want? Well, on-screen display, that's what I want. I want to be able to see stuff on the inside, but I've been bugging Immersion about it since I got this, saying please give me the ability to do some stuff inside the goggles without having to look at the external screen, and might be possible. So stay tuned for an update if that comes out. So that's pretty much it. That's pretty much just my like raw full story of all the different goggle module solutions I went through and why I like Rapidfire. So hope that helps you determine what you might want to use. Oh, and I have been getting comments about why aren't I using the new SkyZones? Because there's a new SkyZone with a bigger field of view. Well, I've got it set here. And it's a long story as to why they're in pieces. Really great goggle. Further improvements on the interface. RF performance is good. Fitment on my face, problematic. I'll just leave it at that, because I don't want to like slam a product too bad, but if it does fit your face, highly recommend it, but it's very likely that it won't. So this is my solution. Oh wait, this isn't a Rapidfire thing, but the other interface problem I've got with this setup is the DVR menu. Oh my god, Fat Shark. Are you kidding me? It's so bad. It's so bad, and again I come from the SkyZones where like all the interface was... Actually, I used to complain about that interface, but then I had to deal with the complete lack of interface. And I was like, oh, that was actually a pretty good interface. So, phenomenal goggle. Could definitely use an improvement on DVR functionality. And the Rapidfire is a really great module for it. So, this definitely is on the pricier side to do the full HDO with the Rapidfire. I mean, these are both the most premium products, but when I kind of have like some philosophies on spending money in FPV, and I might make a whole dedicated video about it, but in my opinion, the goggles and the radio, that's where it's worth it to spend money, because I'm not going to take these goggles and ram it to a concrete wall. The drones, they're like a little more disposable. You know, you end up breaking things more often, but these will grow with you. So in my mind, if you're going to invest, I'd invest in the things that you actually touch, like the goggles and the radio, because they'll grow with you. It's what you actually touch, it's what you actually interact with, and your drone will get broken and repaired and upgraded as you go. All right, whew. we've been going for 15 minutes, and I like to upload these videos on this channel kind of just as raw as possible, keep the workload easy and all that stuff. So thanks for hanging out. Subscribe to my main channel for, you know, vlogs and adventures like that, and stay tuned to this channel for more of this stuff. See ya.